All right, this shit wasn't working a few minutes ago. Hold on, let me let Kyle and B know they could just jump right back in this one. Google Hangout is not playing nice with us again. I don't know what's going on with this. Hold on. Same link. All right, waiting for Cal and B to come on. Shit, it wouldn't start. But so they'll be on in just a second. We'll talk about some stuff. Talk about Kirk Cousins trying to get that payday, that undeserved payday. He about to rob Washington. Let's see, Indiana at Ohio. Let me go to the chat room. There goes the 4:30. Hey, B, we're live, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just hit start and it started this time. I don't know. I was talking about Kirk Cousins, the new Tom Brady.
What? Huh? What? Kirk Cousins, new Tom Brady? What are you talking about? Who said that?
Me. I'm just messing with people.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, what?
Yeah, he's trying to get that he's trying to get what, 20 mil? I think 20 mil a year.
Kirk Cousins is?
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to get 20 mil a year, man.
You might as well. Look, if Sam Bradford can be stealing money, why not Kirk Cousins?
Well, he got 2 years, but what are they paying?
Sam Bradford?
Yeah.
I think like 36 mil.
But that's not a year, though.
No, I mean, Sam, I think it's 2 years, 36 mil. Let me look.
That's not bad.
Man, I wouldn't give Sam Bradford $36.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. What you mean that's not bad? That's awful, dude. If I tweeted earlier, if I'm his agent, boy, I better be kissing him because he is that man. That agent looking out for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't give Sam Bradford $32, let alone $32 million.
Right. Fix your camera.
I'm just saying Kirk Cousins, though.
Right. I'm just saying.
Kirk Cousins is the one that may get people. If they re-sign him for 20 mil, you talking about 20 mil a year?
Yeah, didn't Flacco get it? If Flacco can get it.
Yeah, but Flacco won a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins is like.
Yeah, Flacco.
Bradford is not worth 2 years, 36 mil, dude. I'm sorry.
Not even close. Not even close.
Why not?
What has he done that he's gonna be that you can be like, oh, he's
not a damn thing.
What's that?
18 mil.
18. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Right.
Yeah. What exactly, man? Oh. He gonna say. Oh.
Hey, and that's what his wife probably said.
Let's start the show.
Oh, we live. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. Oh shit! I didn't know we was live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the place where the sports opinions collide. Thank you for checking out another edition of Dead End Sports. I am the host, 12 Kyle, joined by my partners in crime, my man Ken right there. What up, Ken?
What's up?
And my man right there, the beat maker of the crew, Beezy 430. What up, though?
What up, though? What's good?
Chilling, man. A lot of stuff to talk about, man. First and foremost, want to thank everybody for checking us out as you do each and every week. We're here every Tuesday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Want to apologize, had a little technical difficulties getting started. Third member of the crew, our boy FIFO, is not going to be in tonight. He will be back on next week. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, not a lot of time to talk about it. Man, I guess we'll start at the obvious. Saturday night, this past Saturday night, man, the NBA, which I think has done a tremendous job into tapping into the Saturday night crowd. Those of us who don't hang out and party on Saturday nights.
With families.
Yeah, especially those of us with families. We in the crib chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Saturday night, once again, I think, Ken, maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the third week in a row that they feature Golden State on Saturday night. I think it has been, because I think it was Cleveland the first week, and the second week it was the Clippers, and then last week it was OKC.
Okay.
So Golden State has been on for the last 3 weeks. Nonetheless, epic game between Golden State and the OKC Thunder. If you missed it, I'm pretty sure you've seen the highlights. If you haven't seen the highlights, you probably have been out of the country. If you haven't seen the highlights, I suggest that you watch the highlights after you watch this podcast of ours. Nonetheless, man, Steph Curry with the shot, man. The shot heard around the world. Steph Curry pulls up after and hit his 46th point. I think he was 12 for 16 from three-point range. The game-winning shot in overtime to lead to a 121-118 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's start right there, man. Steph Curry. I think, and we say this every week, but it's almost like we're running out of superlatives to talk about this guy. I mean, he's doing stuff that we've never seen done before in a basketball court and shooting at a high rate, high efficiency clip. Damn, I don't even know what to say. B, what's your take on Steph's game, man, that he had on Saturday night?
Man, I mean, I remember when Steph hit that damn shot, man, to win it. I was like, man, this fool has to be playing with a cheat code on or something.
I saw that tweet too.
Man, like, cause this dude is like crazy. I mean, for him to have that green light, for Steve Kerr to give him that green light like that, to just shoot whenever, and he's still pretty much money most of the time, is insane, man. It's like soon he come across half court, you literally have to guard him, because if you don't, and he's gonna take that shot and he's gonna pull it with confidence. I mean, the way he shot it, it seemed like he ain't even heave. He just came down, bam, and just fired. That sucker hit the bottom of the net. I'm like, man, this dude is just playing on. I mean, for him to step up in this type of game, because OKC had it. I thought with Durant, when Durant fouled out, that actually hurt it. But I thought OKC pretty much, had this game in the bag, for the most part, But yeah, Durant went out. It's like, it was only so much Russell Westbrook could do. But yeah, Curry just turned into Curry. For him to step up on a nationally televised game on a Saturday night, everybody's watching, prime time. Yeah, man, like, yeah. I mean, it's just solidified that these dudes, they look unbeatable this season. Like, I don't see no one beating them 4 times in a 7-game series. Now, I will say this, though. I do think in the West, I think in the playoff series, I feel like OKC will match up, or at least give them a bit more of a challenge than the Spurs. But I think the Spurs will beat OKC. If OKC meet up with the Spurs in the playoffs, I don't think OKC will get past the Spurs. Now, granted, even history will probably tell you otherwise, because I think OKC kind of has Spurs numbers, in the playoffs as far as a playoff series in recent years. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like this season, the Spurs would take out OKC, which would make it easier for Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. But I think if OKC and Golden State would match up in the Western Conference Finals, I think we'll be in for a good physical, because I tweeted this too while it was going on. When Kevin Durant and Draymond Green was at court looking at each other talking shit, I was like, man, this is what I love. Like, we need dudes out there hating each other. Like, I want y'all to hate each other. Like, that's what I'm used to seeing, guys out there hating each other. Yeah, you can be friendly before and after the game, but while you playing that game within that 94 feet, I want to see y'all hate each other and try to take each other out. Not like take each other out in a bad way, but like just try to take out your opponent and get that win. Do anything for the win. So I love to see guys out there talking stuff, rambling at the mouth and everything. Because, me playing ball, I know how it is. Like, when you playing basketball and you competitive, you in that competitive, fierce mode, and you got talking stuff too. You gonna talk stuff back, and you coming down, you pop a 3 in him, and he's gonna come back and do something or whatever. It's just like, I love that heated competition, man. It's like that's something that you don't see a lot in the NBA. So when you see it, it's very refreshing, So, but Stephen Curry, man, unreal. Them boys. Klay Thompson hit some big shots for him as well. So, yeah, man, this Golden State is just Golden State. I mean, at this point, what he's doing is we just getting used to seeing it now. It's not even like a wow factor no more. It's just like, damn, what next?
Man, that is crazy. Ken, give me your take on it. Steph's game.
It was unreal. He went out, came back in. He was on a bum ankle.
Yeah, we ain't even talk about that yet.
Yeah, and I looked at the outline of the show, and I know we'll get to KD and OKC, in a second down the line, down the line. But I know that when first of all, poor Kyle Singler, he tried.
Yeah, he kept getting caught on the switch.
Yeah, he tried. He just couldn't keep up. And what Curry did when Kyle Singler switched on him, he just took him off the dribble. And that shows his IQ, because he could have easily popped a three like he had been doing all night, but he took advantage of a weaker opponent. But going to the shot, there were a couple of things that went through my head as soon as Westbrook missed that shot. One was when he got the ball and he started dribbling up the court. I don't know about you guys, but I wondered, and I didn't wonder. I said, he's going to pull that from damn near half court. And he dribbled up, and I was like, somebody, because there was nobody around him. He got the ball, they passed it to him, smart. Klay Thompson passed the ball to him. Yeah, and they I think it was Klay, and he started dribbling up the court.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you guys sagging off him? He shoots those are practice for him. And he started dribbling up the court, and I'm like, that's too much space. And I said, and he's going to pull it, one, because he can make the shot, two, because if he misses it, it's going into OT. So it's not a loss either way it go. And there was nobody around him. And he pulled it, and as soon as he pulled, I was like, that's going in. I knew it was going in. I knew.
What'd you say, Ken?
Okay, I got it.
Panthers just threw his arms up. The ball, the ball didn't even go. It hasn't even reached the hoop yet. It didn't even go in. Cantor was like, what do you do? First of all, Andre Robertson, what were you thinking? Because you are in the vicinity. You're supposed to be the elite defender on that team, and everybody, the whole NBA, the world knows that Curry can hit shots from that far with relative ease. Why are you sagging off of him? You should have picked him up as soon as he got the ball and take a chance at an OT, and he didn't. And when he made it, that really helped solidify this outstanding season he had, and it's adding to this resume of greatness that he's compiling for himself. And I sat there on the couch. I couldn't move, and I was literally I could not believe what I just saw. He literally just beat OKC by himself. Granted, Golden State, they were at an advantage because Kevin Durant fouled out. Regardless, it don't even matter. Because we'll get to KD. KD was going toe-to-toe with the brother. But yeah, as soon as he pulled, I was like, that's going in. And that was it. Twitter went crazy. And I just sat there in my couch. I was just dumbfounded, by what just happened. And Curry just danced and crip walked all over me.
That wasn't a crip walk, was it?
I guess. I don't know.
No, he wasn't crip walking.
Okay. I was about to say.
Somebody said it was crip walk. Oh, I don't know what it is. I know the crip walk. I thought it was a new version. I thought it was a millennial version of the crip walk.
Yeah,
I saw somebody refer to it as a crip walk on Twitter. I was like, oh, I got to look and see.
It was a Cupid shuffle.
And I saw him do that. I'm like, okay, that don't look like the crip walk I've seen.
Right. Don't look like the crip walk I've seen.
I thought it was a 2016 version. These kids be making up all kind of stuff, remix and shit.
Nay version.
But anyway, but you know what? My thing is this, man. There's a couple of things I want to touch on. Well, I'll get to what B said, but I think Golden State, they're playing with a lot of fire because there have been a couple of teams that have had a shot to beat them, and they haven't. And I think that for me, that's a little cause for concern. I know they got Steph Curry, and he can do these great, wonderful things, but they've had to win a couple of games lately. But it's a long season. Maybe it's just one of those stretches where, they're just kind of going through the motions. But I do think OKC can get them. But my thing is this. The way they're celebrating, the way they're laughing at everybody in the NBA, the way he's just tossing threes. I mean, he's tossing threes up. He'll shoot the ball, land, turn around, and start walking down the court to play defense. That is disrespectful. And I cannot believe no one in the NBA has taken offense. And they're taking this personal. I'm totally with you, B. I love KD talking mess to Draymond Green. Where is the rest of the NBA? Why is nobody stepping up and saying, no, Steph Curry is a great player, you can't stop him, just like you can't stop LeBron and KD. But I would like to see somebody try. Right. Where's the Tony Allen? You know what I'm saying? That said, yo, I know Kobe Bryant is that dude, but I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna stop him.
Shit, look at Gary Payton. I mean, he got in his Jordan face. You know what I'm saying? And I feel you, Ken. Yeah, it's like, where is that?
They're on Twitter. Oh, Steph Curry, Dwayne Wade. Stop tweeting, Dwayne.
LeBron James. LeBron James. You saw what LeBron James was saying? Did you see what LeBron James tweeted?
Yeah, I saw that.
Much
I understand if you want to give respect. There's nothing wrong with giving respect to someone that's great, but like, dude, this is a guy you're trying to get a championship from. Why are you tweeting? Why are you praising this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm glad y'all went there because I forgot to write this down.
Do you think, like if we had Twitter and if Isaiah was going against Jordan, and of course how amazing Jordan was, you think Isaiah gonna be tweeting, oh man, Jordan, man, he's just so amazing. Wow, you killing him out there. No, he wouldn't. So like seeing LeBron James tweet that, I'm like, you old punk ass. Like, why would you tweet that? Like, why would you even say that?
Well, you know what, man? I think part of it is because I think that the guys are friends around the league. I think that might have something to do with it.
So what if they friends in the league? You ain't supposed to be buddies and like, remember when LeBron and KD when they faced off in the finals?
Right.
And guess who KD was working out during the summertime? The freaking dude who beat you in the finals. Yeah. Like, come on, dude. What is this? Y'all want some Care Bears too, man? Y'all want some Care Bear cookies or something? Like, what's going on?
Care Bears. You know what, B, man? I think it's part of it because we come from a different era, man. I think it's just, but I'm like you. I didn't have a problem with the rest of the league commenting and stuff like that. When I saw tweets from guys like Baron Davis and Magic Johnson or whatever like that. I was a little bit surprised from tweets from guys who actually going to play against him, guys like Dwayne Wade and guys like LeBron. Because I guess maybe the arrogance in me, I mean, we all have a certain level of arrogance. I'm very arrogant to a certain degree, and like the arrogant part of me would not allow me to give that man props. Not when I know I got to play against him. Because, like, we all know from the Jordan era, Jordan would look for little things like that to use against you, basically. If Jordan felt like he was your friend, he could, use that against you as far as like a mind game or whatever like that. And that's not to say that Steph won't use this stuff against LeBron in the finals should they meet up. But that being said, I think for me, I was blown away, man. I think the thing, even watching that game, if we can go back to the beginning of the game,
that fool lost the internet connection. It was probably that storm. That storm probably knocked out his internet connection.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show.
Here you go.
I don't know what happened. Okay. Remember the thing about it was that like OKC was blowing them out. They were up by 10. And and up by 14, I think at one point, and then I think it got to a point in the third quarter where I was kind of looking to see if Golden State was going to basically say, you know what, we good, it's okay, they got one, whatever. And that moment never came for Golden State. Like Golden State felt like they were in the game, and they stayed in the game. And then even if you look at the final, we'll get into the final moments of the game, but even if you look at the final moments of regulation. They're down 14. I mean, they're down by 4 with 14 seconds left. That's a L for most teams in the league. I mean, it just is. But they kept fighting and they never gave up. But I at this point, man, I don't know what else to say about Steph, man. I mean, like, I don't necessarily fault Robertson for that for him getting that shot off, because nobody else in the – think about it like this. Not only does he – well, here's the thing, kid, and this is why I give him a pass. Who else in the NBA is going to take a three from that far away? At that juncture, now, keep in mind, and B, you know from playing basketball, certain players will take certain shots based on, you know, the lead or being behind. The game was tied. So if Steph misses the shot, we're going into double overtime. But there's a huge part of me that thinks that Steph will take that shot if they were up 2, if they were down 1, if they were down 3. Like, he was going to take that shot regardless, because he was just feeling it at night. Mm-hmm. So I don't blame Robertson for not being, because you could tell when you look at the slow motion, like the floor angle, he's surprised. You know, he starts to, you see like the bench tells him to step up or whatever, like he's backpedaling, and then he steps up and then he realizes, like, oh shit, he's about to shoot. So at that point, when he has that oh shit moment, it's too late. The ball is up, and the ball doesn't touch anything but net. I mean, like, if you go back and look, and I'm pretty sure the NBA, I mean, I've seen them online. You can go check YouTube, the clips or whatever, look at the cut-ups. Every three-point shot he made, with the exception of one, every three-point shot that he made was like nothing but the bottom of the net. They didn't touch rim. They didn't touch nothing. So, I mean, to make 12 out of 16, that means you were feeling it. So I don't knock Robertson for that. I mean, like, Curry was just unreal, man. I'm at a loss for words, because I've never seen a player of this stature dominate a game. And I mean, if he had done this against, I don't know, the Utah Jazz, you know, I mean, it'd still be dope, but we wouldn't be praised. I mean, but this is against one of the best teams in the league on national TV when everybody's watching. And I mean, we almost forget that Clay had 37. You know, yep. So he was incredible, man. He was incredible. I like I said, I'm out of superlatives for him.
You know what? I think, you know, going to Robinson, you're right. Most players in the NBA wouldn't pull from there with about 3 seconds left. You know, but there's one player that will, and it's Steph Curry. And everybody in the NBA knows that. And when Robinson was backing up, that moment you're referring to is the moment he realized he fucked up.
Yeah.
And, you know, the game was over at that point. But, you know, man, I think.
Okay, I just got a notification that he's not playing tonight. Curry's not playing tonight against the Hawks.
Okay. Going back to what B was talking about earlier about the old heads, I think there's a reason why the old heads, as they like to call them, are tweeting and expressing their displeasure with some of the things that they're seeing. While Oscar Robertson is saying some of the things that he's saying, while Isaiah Thomas, you know, is criticizing, you know, he's criticizing perimeter defense, it's because they remember what it was like to play in the league during their time when you were not. Of course, Twitter wasn't around, but you were not rubbing shoulders like that. You were not working out with players like that, at least from what I've read. Like, you were literally trying to beat and destroy your opponent. You did not like them. And we all know Jordan found reasons to dislike people. Isaiah Thomas, I guarantee you Isaiah Thomas not tweeting about Steph Curry if he's in the league right now.
No question. No.
Jordan's not. You know, Magic Johnson damn sure isn't. Oh, but no, man, I think and I think this current NBA, they're not taking it personal. Like, this dude is out here embarrassing you.
Clowning.
And laughing and dancing at the same time, shimmying in front of your bench. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you guys saw this. I know we had tweeted it out from the Dead End Sports account. A couple weeks ago, the Warriors went to the White House to visit President Obama, and the night before they played the Wizards. And Steph had one of those nights where he was going off, and at one point Steph hit a three, and he did like this little dance like in a circle. And so they were at the ceremony the next day at the White House, and President Obama's like, he said, Steph, he said, man, you out there clowning last. Now, those are his exact words. This is President of the United States. He said, you out there clowning last night. He said, I saw you jumping around dancing. He said, hey, man, stop clowning like that. And everybody starts laughing. But that's how he was Saturday night. I mean, like, it wasn't even, I mean, he hit some fadeaway. He hit some fallaways. He fell down a couple of times. And, I mean, it was just one of those nights where he just wasn't going to miss. And he wasn't going to let them lose, man. It was crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And that was one of those games where if you look across the board, everybody else didn't have their good stuff, but Clay was wet most of the night. You know, Draymond, even though he didn't have the statistical numbers as you probably thought he should, he still had, 14 and 14 and, or 14 points, 14 assists. And I think he had like 6 blocks. It was crazy, man. I mean, like, we haven't seen this from a guy of this stature. Now, we've seen dominance for Shaq and Jordan, those guys, but not somebody. I mean, Steph might be 6'2", 185 at best. He's not a big guy at all. But, well, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's so much. I mean, he was unreal, man. He was just simply unreal. And if you look at OKC, if the players on OKC, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant in particular, they just had this look on their face like, damn, what can we do? Like, we gave them our best shot, and we have nothing left. So it is what it is, man. So y'all want to talk about? Before we talk about OKC, we got to talk about Draymond. Now I'll be the first to admit, Ken and I rarely agree on stuff. Except hip hop, but sports wise, we rarely agree on stuff. And Ken, I am not gonna say Ken was hating. Ken was bringing up a point a couple of weeks ago that he thought Draymond might be stat chasing. Well, after Saturday's game, I did it, and we all know Draymond had a blow up in the locker room during halftime. What had happened was, it's been reported that Steve Kerr was playing a clip back about what they were doing or not doing on a defensive end, and Draymond Green took offense to what was being said in the locker room. And then, again, this is at halftime, and he starts cussing. And, I guess some guys told him to sit down. He said, MF, sit me down, and he challenged Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr didn't back down. And, guys had to kind of, get in between them or whatever like that. And, but when they came out the locker room, they left it all there. Draymond finished the game, whatever. But I think, to Ken's point, prior to them going to halftime, there were some words exchanged between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant was cooking Draymond. I mean, it wasn't even close in the first half. So Ken made a point a couple of weeks ago that he thought Draymond Green might be stat chasing. And I looked at his stats since the All-Star break, and then I went back a little bit further. I don't think Ken is that far off. I don't think he's stat chasing, but Draymond Green's numbers are down a little bit, and his shot attempts are down since Steve Kerr has come back as coach. He was out with the bad back or whatever. So I think that is something to watch. Ken, what did you make of the I don't want to call it an argument, the blow up in the locker room?
Well, I'm not one of those big X's and O's guys like FIFO, and a lot of people, man. I just kind of watch and observe and kind of make my decisions from there. I do use data to kind of support some of my decisions, but I just watch the game, man. And if you really think about this season as a whole, and if you think about Draymond Green's role on this team, if you think about where it was last year, what was it with him? He's the emotional leader. He's that guy that keeps everybody glued together. That's what people were saying. People were rarely talking about his game overall, like his overall. I think giving him props for his skill set, his unique abilities to play forward, but they're not talking about him, in a glaring light offensively or anything like that. They're just talking about his impact on the team from an emotional standpoint, being that emotional leader, being that guy that has that heart, being that guy that doesn't back down from anybody, being the guy that go pop the trunk on you. That's what people talk about when it comes to Draymond Green. That was last year and kind of moving into this year. This year, when you think about the conversation surrounding Draymond Green, it's all about the triple doubles. That's how he get. Like, his name will stay in the media because of everything else he does, but there's a little bit more polish to it. There's a little bit more to it because of the triple doubles. And and I read this Monday, and it said that under Luke Walton, Draymond had more offensive freedom than he does under Steve Kerr. So, so obviously, he's not missing any shots. He's having a horrible game defensively. He's known for being that defensive guy. But like we said about Steph Curry, nobody can stop KD except Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? For all you basketball heads, you'll get that. That's a joke.
Right. Yeah, if you're dead in sports, you definitely get too.
You'll get that. But anyway, but yeah, who's gonna stop KD? KD can go one-on-one, mano-a-mano with Steph Curry, shot for shot.
And he was.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to him later. But with Draymond, his thing this year has been built around triple doubles. That's how people talk about him. Klay Thompson don't give a damn about what you say about him. But we all know that Klay Thompson can light it up at any given moment. Draymond's thing has been triple doubles. He had a great game Saturday. 14 assists and 14 rebounds are extremely impressive.
And 6 blocks.
Extremely impressive. Now that was impressive to me. And even if he would have gotten a triple double, that would have just been the icing on the cake. But I think overall what he did, was phenomenal. He couldn't stop Kevin Durant, but that happened. So going into the locker room, he was upset because KD talking shit to him, and KD was like, "No, you can't stop me." And Draymond like, "Yes, I can." KD was like, "No, you can't." And then you look at the box score, you be like, "Well, no, I can't." And then Steve Kerr come around here and he's saying, "Yo, man, like on this play, something was supposed to happen and he didn't do it." Now I don't know if listening to what's being reported, if he took a shot he wasn't supposed to take, and he should have been moving the ball around, and that's what the robot comment meant. And I could, I've been thinking, I was like, well, that makes sense. I'm not a robot. I can shoot. If you don't want me to shoot, I won't shoot. People have emotional outbursts. Draymond's an emotional guy.
Right. The
problem that I had overall with this whole thing, and I don't care about the apologies. I don't care about him apologizing. There's something that bothers me about him saying, "Make me then," and fine, I'm not going back out there.
Yeah, and he took his shoes off too, allegedly.
He took his shoes off. He was dead ass serious. And outside of who in that locker room is gonna make Draymond sit down? When you look at Draymond and you look at everybody on that team, not that many, and it damn sure ain't gonna be Steve Kerr. So that to me, Cheryl, I'm not looking and I'm not reaching for anything on your Warriors. She hit us up on Twitter about that, but
yeah, shout out to Cheryl.
Look, I've been telling you guys for weeks about Draymond Green and that what he's doing is great, but it's not impressing me because I think he's chasing it. That was probably a small indication that there's something there to it because he loves his triple doubles and he loves when people talk about his triple doubles. And I recall last year when Lance Stevenson was making a lot of headlines because of his triple doubles and the things he was doing, and everything was good until they started losing. Right now,
and look at Lance now.
Please believe that right now everything is great with the Warriors because they are winning. Winning hides a lot of ills within a team. We all know this. If that team was not winning, trust me, Draymond Green's antics would be less tolerated than they are now. But it's all good when they're winning. But the whole conversation coming out of Golden State is, yeah, the Warriors are great, but everything is talking about Steph Curry. And I'm not saying Draymond is jealous. I think Draymond want people to talk about him too. So he gets his triple doubles and he go out and get them. And you know what? It's not easy to do. And props for him doing it. But I like when it comes within the flow of the game.
Right.
And I think if he would have gotten one Saturday, it would have been within the flow of the game. But he needed to, I think his problem really should have been, he should have been more focused on stopping Kevin Durant than he was trying to, score. But yeah, man, it's just something I'm gonna watch. I think that it probably won't be that much of a thing because they're going to keep winning.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. It's a flag. It's a red flag to me.
What about you, B? What do you make of Draymond's outburst and subsequent apology and where they are now?
Where are they? Like the Warriors?
I mean, as far as Draymond, as far as how he's moving with the team or whatever. I mean, like they deaded it, I guess, or maybe he deaded it when he apologized. So,
yeah.
What's your take on it?
Ken made a good point that I was actually going to say that when you winning, everything is all peaches and cream. If Warriors was like, on a losing streak, or if they was kind of fighting for a playoff spot or something like that, and you're hearing about Draymond's, antics in the locker room, of course with this social media and everything now, yeah, it would have definitely been blown out way more, it'd have been blown out big time now if they was losing or they was on a losing streak, put it like that. If they was like on a 6-game losing streak, people would be like, well, what's going on with the Warriors? Oh, Draymond Green cussing out the teammates and stuff and the coaches, and this is one of the games, primetime games against one of the other great teams in the West. What's going on? Well, it's a turmoil in the locker room. But since they're winning and since they're going around about on pace to having an NBA record, like Ken said, it's kind of being nipped in the bud a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're winning, so let's not make too much of a big deal of it. Evidently, he just got emotional. And sometimes in sports that might happen. Rather if you're on a losing squad or a winning squad.
Oh, no question.
If you're playing in a big game, sometimes your emotions kind of get the best of you, and you kind of snap or go off or whatever. Or you get in the heat of competition and you kind of go off and snap. So, I mean, you can look at it from that case, but I do, of course, because Golden State is kicking everybody's ass. We're not. It's kind of like it's no big deal. He just got mad or whatever, and that's it. And they came back. Look what happened in the second half, and they held on. They came back and won. So, if they would have lost that game, if they would have lost that game, you would have been like, well, Draymond, he went off in the halftime, so that's why that's what happened. What happened? Turmoil the team, but because they won that game, I think you're kind of like, whatever. It's on with it. People just kind of don't care about it.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he apologized and said he said it's not going to happen again.
Right, that's because they won.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If they would have lost, would he still apologize?
I think y'all know I played football. And football I'll be the first to admit, football is very different from basketball. You got less players.
Yep.
Guys are automatically charged up, just from the beginning. When Lisa Salters reported it, I started thinking, like, whenever I'm not going into halftime, I heard somebody cuss, or whatever. I mean, like, it's for football, it's probably more normal than it is abnormal, hearing coaches cuss or hearing the players cuss at somebody or something like that. But, when you go, all of that stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens in a locker room. I don't care what your sport is. It happens in the locker room. But when you leave the locker room, that's where the stuff can't filter over. If you can leave, if you're able to dead it and leave it in the locker room, then it's all good. I think to Ken's point, and this is where I agree with Ken, that it should have been. Seems like it should have been in the flow of the offense or what have you. And I'm gonna take you back. And I'm not. And for those of you in the chat room, I'm not reaching on this. But if you go back. And Ken, you remember this the other night. This was, I want to say maybe Tuesday or Wednesday night. They played against Miami, right? And there was some words going back and forth between Draymond and Hassan Whiteside. And Hassan Whiteside killed Draymond in that game. Draymond did not have statistically, he didn't have a good game. And, obviously Curry went off and, they won at the end. They pulled out a close game. But I think it may have started there. And now, maybe it's a sense where guys feel like they can talk to Draymond to get him out of his game because we've seen Hassan Whiteside do it. We could say that maybe Kevin Durant did it. I don't know. And I don't know how much guys jaw at Draymond Green, but, if I'm playing them tonight, if I'm the Hawks tonight, or whoever's playing Golden State, I might try Draymond Green. I might, try to get him off his game. Now, whether or not it's going to work or not, I don't know. And he said that he's going to be cool, so you can only take a man for his word. But that's something definitely to watch, because here's the thing of what you have to guard against. If you're Golden State, regardless of whether or not you break this record or not, your season is going to be measured by whether or not you can close the deal and win the title. If you get into an actual series, whether it be the finals, whether it be the Western Conference Finals, where you actually have to play very well to win, stuff like that can fester, and it can come out. And if you're not on your game, it could become an issue. So it's definitely something to watch.
Well, and I think the other thing is that, and they say that this isn't the first time it's happened. There was another report out there that he wanted to fight Iggy, so and I think this is because it was prime time, because everybody was watching and people were there. It got picked up and people are noticing, and those small little things that happen that go within a team. Look, they all know each other. They all love each other. They all have won this far, gotten this far, playing this way, engaged in this way. So they know Draymond. They won with Draymond. They won a title with Draymond. They probably wouldn't have won a title if it wasn't for him. He was the one that had the attitude and the moxie last year to keep talking in the finals. And there's still confidence within those guys. But I just think that it can't – hopefully it won't become all about him, and it'll continue to be, about the team, because that's what makes the Warriors great, is that they play together as one team, right, regardless of who's getting off. And if they get away from that, and they go against, because OKC can beat them in 7 games.
I don't think so.
Yes, they can. I'm shaking.
I don't think anybody can beat them in 7 games.
I think OKC.
I think they can give them a run, but I don't think they can beat them.
Oh, well, all right. But to wrap up,
that's my thought. I mean, you thought Cleveland could win it last year.
Well, and you know what? To be honest, and you know what? Here's the thing about that, Kyle. Because I was messing with you the other day, and a lot of people say, and I was thinking, what if Golden State lost, I don't know, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry had to do it all by himself, and they lost the title. And the conversation could all of a sudden be what it is for Cleveland. Just, the roles would be reversed, right? People would be saying the same thing about Golden State that they are about Cleveland, maybe, I don't know. But, anyway. But, yeah, I picked with my heart. I thought that Amon Shumpert and J.R. Look, I ain't gonna talk about that, Kyle.
And Delly.
Delly had him for 3.5 quarters.
Oh man, we got it. Come finals time, man. We definitely got to get together, watch a couple games, man, out like we did last year. Mm-hmm. Man, real quick before we move on to KD, real quick on the Oscar Robertson thing. I mean, I don't think we talked about it last week. Do you guys have a problem with old school cats kind of going at Steph and his game or whatever? I saw where Steven Jackson said that his Golden State team would be, and Steven Jackson, shut the hell up, man. Your Golden State team was good, but I mean, y'all, they didn't even.
Man,
I think
Stephen Curry would have been cooking Baron Davis.
Oh my God, man!
Baron Davis don't even play no freaking defense.
Exactly, Baron Davis could barely stay in front of me. Let alone Steph
that's
Curry.
What I'm saying. Come on now, really? Like, he'd have been getting cooked.
So what do you think about Oscar Robertson, somebody like that, kind of, downplaying what Steph is doing?
Yeah, I don't know why would you downplay that. I mean, what Steph is doing is freaking amazing. No, all respect to the Big O, but
no doubt.
Just yeah, I mean, you say extend the defense, but guess what? He gonna blow right past you and still step back. And wasn't nobody in the NBA back then when Oscar was playing had a step back. Like they'd have saw that step back, they'd have been looking like, "Hey, yo, coach, what the fuck you want me to do with this shit?" Like, they'd have been looking confused because players wasn't stepping back like that, man. Their step back game wasn't strong like that. So, yeah, you can say what you think you might do, what y'all would have done to Curry or whatever, but I don't know if that would have went through that easily. I mean, Food sure he would have roughed him up or whatever a couple times,
Right.
but other than that, and then of course Steph, it was no 3-point back then, so
Right.
you rely on that. So if you put Oscar Robertson in this prime against this team, he'd have probably been out there like, damn, okay, this Stephen Curry dude is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'd have been like, oh, I come out there, but guess what? He gonna blow right past you because he's that quick enough. He's that agile. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, love your Oscar, Big O, but yeah, you was reaching with that one. What Steph is doing is amazing. You can't discredit that.
What about you, Ken?
I think what Steph is doing is amazing, but I don't think he was reaching. I think that his biggest gripe was that to him, no defense is being played, and he doesn't he don't understand why.
Yeah, but to that
people
point,
just
though,
give
Ken,
him
if
so
you
much
think
space.
about it, we all saw, if you go back and look at all of the shots, how many open shots did he take the other night? I mean, now he did have a couple of layups where he just came unimpeded to the basket.
Like nobody put a body on him or nothing. Like
but I mean, but for the most part, those threes that he took, they were contested for the most part. There might have been 2 or 3 where he was wide open, but other than that, they were. I mean, he had hands in his face a couple of times with Westbrook, a couple of times. I mean, the one that he hit over Adams, he was just standing right there. Adams is a 7-footer. I mean, like, I don't know what you want Adams to do. Not you per se, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but also on the flip side of that, when KD got him, KD blocked him like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he did.
Because KD was playing defense. At times he's gonna make shots.
Like 7 foot tall with a freaking 7'8"
wingspan. Yeah.
I'm just saying, B. The defense was being played, and he got him. He got him. Now Curry got him once too.
Yeah.
I saw that Curry popped one in his eye as well, but
he did.
He guarded him, and Westbrook guarded him as well. They didn't just give him those open shots. Curry was on fire.
And
but I think
look what Curry did to Kawhi Leonard, one of the elite defenders in the league.
Everybody got Kawhi that night.
And Jimmy Butler. And look what he did to Jimmy Butler. So it's like those are like the 2 most elite defensive on-ball defenders in the league today. And
exactly.
Curry was cooking them too.
And you know what? Go ahead, Ken.
No, I'm just saying he's a great player. He's a great shooter. I don't know if they'll be able to stop him, but I think what's irritating Oscar is like, will somebody try and play some type of defense? So I think that was the thing. I don't have a problem with the old school heads saying anything because that's just the way that they played. It seems like to me, and we watched it growing up, that they were far more competitive than they are now.
Right.
And they're competitive now, but there was just, and maybe we're just being old and reminiscent of the days past, but there is a clear difference between the game back then and the game now.
Right. And that's why it's hard to compare eras. We talk about it all the time. It's hard to compare eras. I mean, I'm not going to say I love Oscar Robertson. I never got a chance to see him play. He is one of my dad's favorite players. So, even like when we talk eras and stuff, I always defer to people who saw, like I can't, like we had a debate about, the best big man. I never saw Wilt. So if I wanted to get somebody's opinion, I'd ask my dad or ask B's dad, like what they thought about who was the best, guys who saw them in their prime. That being said about Oscar, little case in history for you guys, Oscar Robertson said the same thing about Jordan. Like, he didn't like Jordan. When Jordan won his 4th and 5th and 6th ring, Oscar Robertson said the exact same thing about Jordan. So, and
look what era Jordan played in.
Exactly. So, if you think Oscar Robertson didn't like this era, he really didn't like the 80s and 90s. And he is on record. I mean, you can YouTube it, you can go look it up. So he is not. I'm not gonna call him a hater. I'm not. I mean, he's an old man. He's 77 years old. I ain't gonna run up on him because he got that old man strength. But, but I will say this much: he's consistent in his thoughts, and he appreciates his era. He loves his era. I get it. I understand it. But what he's saying about Curry is not something he hasn't said about the previous stars. So he said the same thing about Jordan. He said the same thing about Kobe. It is what it is. So yeah. I don't really make much of it. And I'm not gonna call him a hater. Kevin Durant, man. Ken, we saw Kevin Durant get foul Andre Iguodala, who is a 62% free throw shooter. I mean, that was amazing that Iggy made those shots first and foremost. But he fouled Iguodala and subsequently ends up, well, actually before he fouls out, he turns the ball over. I mean, I guess he thought he was Aaron Rodgers. He threw a damn Hail Mary. Why do you think people aren't on Kevin Durant for quote unquote blowing that game? Because I think he blew the game.
He's not LeBron James. We can start there.
And now you know if LeBron had done this, oh my God.
That's really the answer. If he was LeBron, we'll be having it'll be a lot of articles written about that. But he cost them the game. I don't put it on KD. He made a bad foul, and if people want to say he blew it for them, great. But I want to place the blame at Billy Donovan. Last week, or a couple of weeks ago, I questioned on this show Billy Donovan and whether or not he's making an impact on that team. And you said it on Twitter, Kyle. You said he was very Scott Brookish. And,
very much so.
That play, that situation where he got trapped, Billy Donovan could have called a timeout. Now, when everything was going on, I thought they were out of timeouts, but apparently they had one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Billy Donovan should have recognized that and called a timeout. The same way Kevin Durant should have called a timeout too when he was trapped. He's played in the NBA long enough. He's been in enough situations to know better than to just randomly just throw the ball up like that. And then the foul, the foul was just he just tried to close out on him and closed out too hard. I don't necessarily blame him for that, but tossing the ball up like that with a team full of great shooters like that is extremely risky, and it cost them the game. But to me, man, Billy Donovan, we need to really start paying attention to what Billy Donovan is doing. He was praised heavily when they hired him. People felt they needed to move on to Scott Brooks, and he got this team. I think they got the weapons they need to get to the finals, possibly even win it. Cantor may not be the greatest defensive player in the world.
He's solid.
He can grab rebounds. He has a great low post game. And let's be real, nobody else on OKC playing defense anyway. So what difference would it make to switch him and Steven Adams? I haven't looked much into why he's doing his rotations that way, but it's been that way for most of the season, and I don't quite understand it. But maybe he wants offense to come off the bench. But either way, Ibaka has fallen off this year. He's no longer effective. They turn him to a poor man's Chris Bosh. He looked like Chris Bosh with the clocks out there. So when I look at that and look at this team is literally winning off of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and they're making this engine go. People are giving him props and praise for the rotations that he did, this, that, and the other in the game, but statistically they dominated that game, and they should have won that game, and they should have actually pulled away from them in that game. But
no question.
Steph Curry was just simply fantastic, and they were really playing against one guy. Until and then they had an 11-point lead with like 4 minutes left, and the offense went into Cavalier ball, where it was just a bunch of ISO. They didn't really run much sets. So I place the blame on Billy Donovan. He could have called a timeout. He didn't. But I am not excusing Kevin Durant for the turnover. It was terrible. And I'm not excusing him for the foul. I think he should have just closed out and lived with the results, because we all know he probably was going to miss it anyway, and he did. But you don't want to give anybody free shots with no pressure, And then he fouled out in overtime, and they really could have used him, because Russell Westbrook just simply fell apart. And I don't know what's going on with him when he played the Golden State Warriors, but he hasn't really looked all that good. But all of that being said, I'm going back to what I said before, and I don't even know if this is on the docket or not. But I think that OKC can beat the Warriors in a 7-game set. And I think that I think the thing that will stop them or hold them back would be Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan is turning into David Black to me, and I need to see him do some things a little bit more than what he's doing now. Other than that, they should have kept Scott Brooks.
Oh, no question, no question. It's his job or lack thereof is definitely being questioned at this point. B, what did you make of KD not really? And I guess everybody got caught up in the hype of what Steph did, but KD kind of skated on this one, and a lot of people say that he blew this game.
I do think the call on Andre Iguodala was kind of weak though.
It was weak.
You can't let the game decide like that. And plus not saying that's an excuse for the referees not to make the call, but like they are home, a little bit of home court advantage should have took place on that one. I think a tit-tat foul like that, and you gonna call that?
Hey, but you know what, B?
Questionable. That was really questionable.
They really could have got Robertson for fouling Curry on that last three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he ran into him.
He ran into him, exactly. I mean, but you call a ticky-tack foul on
right.
that, and that's a superstar. You got to let that play out. You got to, in moments like that. So, yeah, I thought I wouldn't really say Kevin Durant lost it for him. I mean, it's just unfortunate that he fouled out because I do believe if Durant was still in the game, I think OKC would have put out the victory. But they wouldn't. Golden State wouldn't have been the situation for them to hit that three to take that to get that win. So but yeah, I just thought the call was a little questionable. That's just my opinion. I think he shouldn't have called that foul on Andre Iguodala.
And you know what? And one thing kind of gets lost in the shuffle is Westbrook in the overtime. I think Westbrook had like 3 or 4 assists, but I don't think he had any points in the overtime. Now, I guess it's still a win if you're converting those baskets into assists, but I think when KD went out, I think that's when Westbrook really has to put his imprint on the game, and it didn't look like he did. Golden State has been criticized, and to Ken's point, Golden State's been criticized a lot this season for kind of going one-on-one ball, particularly down the stretch, and that's not going to get it done. And a lot of that comes from coaching, and I think it's kind of sometimes it's maybe hard to kind of harness in when you have two such great players like Westbrook and Durant, but you got to find a way if you're going, especially if you're going to be the coach that's going to be there, because Donovan's new to this. He's new to the NBA. He's very successful college coach, but this is his first go round, and I mean he's got a shot with these two guys to really go far. And the elephant in the room is that Durant's free agency is pending. Durant says he's not going to address it until the offseason, but trust and believe, if he doesn't believe in Billy Donovan, he may start looking at other teams as far as when it comes time to be a free agent. So that's something definitely to keep in mind.
Well, and
go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, the other thing is that if you look at that game, like I said, he went total. Look, Kevin Durant, unlike LeBron, can score. Is a scoring machine all over the place. He can shoot three, great free throw shooter. He got it all, man. So he's definitely not afraid of Steph Curry, and he can match Steph Curry shot for shot. He proved it. And really, Kevin Durant really took away from his own moment, because when he hit that three-pointer, I promise you, my reaction, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, man, they look like they're in trouble. And then the ball rotated over, and he fired it, he let it go, and that ball went in. My literal reaction was, ooh. And I thought it was over. And then that happened. First of all, how about the defense that allowed them to cut it to 2? Andre Robertson again overplayed Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson just
clear
pass to the rim.
So we should blame Andre Robertson instead of Kevin Durant.
and again, it goes back to that shot. I mean, Curry put 30. What is it? 34, 35, 38. I don't know. Let's just say 40 feet. Like he shot it. When he shot it, he knew it was good. So it's still amazing. I'm still amazed just even looking at it. And again, for those of you just tuning in, Steph Curry twisted his ankle on Saturday night, and tonight's game against the Hawks is the first game that he would have been back, but he is actually sitting out tonight's game because of that ankle. If you guys follow Steph Curry's career, he's had ankle problems since he's been in the NBA. I think it's more of a precautionary thing. They had him listed as questionable, I'm pretty sure if it was a playoff game, he could play. But I mean, they're playing against Hawks. They don't really feel like they need a lot to beat the Hawks. So, which is quietly disrespectful. But that's another story for another day. I mean, but Curry had a tremendous week. 36 against the Hawks. I think he went for 42 against Miami. I think there was a game in Orlando where he went for 51, and then the 46 burger on Saturday night. Now let's move it over to the Eastern Conference, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers. It's early, but it sounds like there's trouble in paradise. Well, apparently there's reports coming out of Cleveland, and for who you want to believe, is that Kyrie Irving is unhappy. Maybe unhappy with his role to some degree. We've heard reports that guys are taking issue with the fact that he pulled himself out of the game last week because of the bed bug situation. He wasn't feeling well. B, man, what's your take on Kyrie and possibly wanting out of Cleveland as reports are suggesting?
Didn't Stephen A. or someone said it's been reports that he's been pretty much unhappy since when LeBron kind of stepped up to him and said, "Yo, you can't keep playing like this." Like last year when he was like, "You gotta kind of pass more. You the PG. You supposed to be the point guard of the squad." And it's been rumors saying since then like Kyrie Irving was kind of like, not really happy with the situation because then he signed that deal before LeBron made the announcement that he was coming back.
Right.
So, maybe he wanted to be the man. He don't want to play second fiddle. But, hey, look, playing second fiddle got you a trip to the NBA Finals that with your injury butt couldn't even play in because you got hurt. So, I mean, I don't know. And it's sometimes, I guess with this social media stuff, man, it's amazing how, like, stuff get out the locker room.
Oh, no question.
It's amazing to me. Well, not really amazing. It's just like I guess this is the new world we in. It's just the social media. Everyone have access to everything. So if a player says something, it's gonna leak out somewhere, and then it's all on social media and everything. Because if he didn't have social media, we probably wouldn't even hear about like stuff like this. I don't know, but it's amazing how like people have issues with someone or whatever. If you have issues with the team or the front office, it's automatically, know about it. We all know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's being thrown around and rumored around the whole nation now. So it's interesting. But if Kyrie's not happy, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what situation you're gonna go to. I don't know what team. It's not like Spurs or someone is gonna be like, hey, yeah, come on, Kyrie. He might end up going to a situation where it's worse than what he got here at Cleveland. I mean, he's pretty much getting ready to play in another NBA Finals again. I think Cleveland is going to take the East in 7-game series. I mean, you might have some teams that might give him a little fight, but other than that, Kyrie Irving going to be playing in the finals again. And as long as your butt stay healthy, you shouldn't complain. You better just suck it up, try to get that ring, and then you can, if you want to leave. But I don't know how he's going to leave. He's going to take on that big contract because he just signed it, last year before LeBron made that decision to come back. So, yeah, Kyrie, shut up. Just go ahead and shut up and play ball and make this and try to do your best against Steph Curry in the NBA Finals because that's what you're more likely gonna play up against in the finals anyway. So you just need to just suck it up, man up, you know what I'm saying, and try to get through this season and win a championship. There's been plenty of times when Kobe and Shaq was calling, was name calling and not mad at each other, but when it came down to play, them dudes won three back-to-back championships, man. So. Kyrie, suck it up, shut up. If you ain't happy, then try to do something in the offseason. But right now in the season, I think you should focus on nothing else but just trying to win a championship. That should be the main focus. That should be the main goal. Not what, if you unhappy or this could be try to be a distraction. If this is not true, then Kyrie, speak up and say something. Hey, it's not true. Right now we just focusing on win the NBA championship. That's what you should be saying right now.
Right. The politically correct stuff.
That's what you should be saying. Regardless of how you feel, you should be like, look, my main focus is to try to win a championship ring. So other than that, man, worry about that stuff during the offseason or whatever. But right now, until June, your focus is getting that NBA championship, man. Trying to dethrone the Golden State Warriors.
Ken, what about you, man? What's your take on it? I know you really follow this situation pretty close, man. What's your take on Kyrie and maybe how he's meshing with LeBron, or do you think there's an issue there?
Okay, so I have quite a few thoughts on this matter. I was disappointed when I heard the news that Stephen A. reported because it slightly caught me off guard, and the reason why is that a couple of weeks ago I listened to him on the Vertical podcast with Woj,
Okay.
and that the things he was saying led me to believe that they really were focused on winning the championship, and that was the only thing that mattered, and that they really were a unit and really were a team, and they were really focused in on getting back to the NBA Finals. Everything B just said is absolutely right. I won't double down on that. My thing is, when has being the guy become more important than winning a title? Kyrie Irving has never had a winning season
Until LeBron got there.
Until LeBron got there.
You played in the freaking finals his first year back.
Right. Kevin Love, if there's anybody that should be upset, Kevin Love should be upset. And he should be the one that wants to leave because he paid it cost him more than it cost Kyrie. But Kevin Love wants to win a championship.
Right.
Kevin Love came back to this situation because Kevin Love don't care about his personal numbers. He cares, but not like that. What Kevin Love cares about is winning a championship, because if Kevin Love cared more about his personal number, his personal accolades and stuff like that,
he left after last year.
Yeah, he would have
no
left.
Question.
He would have left. He had a full year to make a decision. He knew how this was going to play out, and he didn't. And oh shit, my fucking Mac is about to go dead.
You don't have it plugged up?
Nah. No, go ahead. So yeah, I think that
I just had to get my charger.
Go ahead. I'm gonna go grab my charger.
Yeah, that's why I just disappeared. I think it's crazy, man, because Kyrie. I mean, here's a guy who has a world of talent. I think he was in most of our top fives as far as point guards are concerned. He's a guy, perennial all-star. He's a guy who can get his own shot. And I think in that particular offense, one there, with the new Tyronn Lue being there now, David Blatt being gone, I know that, we always said that Lue wants them to push the ball more, which I would think, favors Kyrie's game. But Kyrie's out here to get buckets. And I think that's becoming an issue because LeBron, at least these last few games, seems to be more of a facilitator. And while I'm pretty sure LeBron doesn't mind playing the facilitator role, he's only going to play the facilitator role, but for so much when he has a point guard out there who is more than capable of doing it. Why be the facilitator if, like LeBron's probably looking at him like, why are you, that's why we have you here. I'm not here for this. I'm here to get everybody involved, plus get my shots off. I can't do that if you're out here getting your shots off. You out here on some Jack 'em Joe, and Kyrie's gonna get his buckets. I mean, he has a mismatch most nights against the guy who's playing against him at point guard. Most nights can't cover him, and he knows that. So he'll be able to get his shot off. And I think it's a mesh of personalities at this point. And I agree with Ken. The guy whose game has suffered the most has been Kevin Love. Kevin Love was a 20-10 guy. And Kevin Love has flourished. His game seems to have come back and flourished a little bit since Blatt has left. I'm not blaming Blatt for that, but I think Kyrie has to figure out how to fit in. And I think they all, just like when LeBron got to Miami, it took them a minute to kind of figure out how and where they needed to fit in as far as their roles are concerned. And the guy who probably had the biggest adjustment was Chris Bosh. But once Bosh figured it out, he was good. And it looks like Kevin Love is starting to figure it out. He's pretty good. But Kyrie, he's got to figure it out, man. I mean, and they don't really have a lot of time because LeBron sat Sunday when they played against the Wizards, and they got thrashed. And J.R. Smith was, tweeting about, the lack of professionalism and the fact that they should never get beat like that by a team like the Wizards. And he was correct. First time J.R. Smith has been correct, but he was correct. And then, subsequently, then they come out and they lose to Toronto, I think the next day, which is, very key because Toronto's the number 2 seed.
Backwards. Toronto. They lost to Toronto. Then
okay, you're right. They lost to Toronto first, and then a lackluster performance against the Wizards where LeBron sat out. Now, if you got LeBron sitting out, you still should be able to beat the Wizards. I mean, you got LeBron sitting out, so Kyrie and Kevin Love should go off. And that didn't happen. So, I think it's getting to a point now where you only got 24, 25 games left in the season. It's time to you really start needing, you have to gel at this point. And, you can't have a lot of nights where you say, oh, well, we'll get them tomorrow night. Oh, we'll get them tomorrow night. No, you're running out of time. And a team like Cleveland, we've pretty much penciled in from the Eastern Conference, you slip around and you could be looking up at somebody, and obviously I think they could still win the East even if they weren't the number 1 seed. But I hope that these rumors aren't true. But if they are, Kyrie Irving needs to figure it out and figure it out fast, because this is not the part of the season where you want to start kind of going south.
Yeah, and look, Kyrie's game has been off. I know we can point to, him just getting into a rhythm. That's fine if we want to say that, then cool. But he hasn't looked right. And Kyrie is a lethal offensive scorer. And, last year he picked up on his defense. So I want to give him props for that. But this kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Warriors and Curry. Like, here you are. You can be just as good as Steph Curry. I mean, you're like really right there. Steph Curry just makes some crazy shots, but Kyrie is not that far off. He just stays hurt a lot,
right.
But he's not that far off in terms of offense. Why are you more concerned about? I mean, I know you because you play there and you play on the team and this, that, and the other. I think for me, I would really be locked in, trying to get back to the finals, trying to prove that if I would have played, it would have made a difference, and I would have been the guy wanting to go at Steph Curry. So I don't know what's being said or what he's saying or what he's upset about. I'm just going off what Stephen A. heard through a secondary source, et cetera, et cetera. My thing is, where is that competitive spirit that we want to see in the NBA? Dog, you haven't won. You didn't win anything until LeBron got there. You should relish in that and look at all of the opportunities that have come to you because of that. And when I heard it, the first thing that popped in my mind was what B said on this very show. LeBron James is not winning another championship. And when I heard that about Kyrie Irving, I was like, you know what? You're right. Because what's the one thing we marvel about with the Warriors? They don't care. It's very kind of Spurs-esque. It's like
right. They don't care who gets the shine.
Yeah, it's like we just want to win at all costs. And this team, they have a lot of issues. There's a lot of turmoil. J.R. Smith, of all people,
is the voice of reason.
Should not be the one coming out complaining about what's going on with the team. J.R. Smith. But if you look at this team, they should be. They are elite because of LeBron. We always know that they're going to always have a shot at it. But their record doesn't showcase that, and they should. They're whispers. They lost. But overall, man, I think that if J.R. Smith is saying this, if Kyrie is feeling the way he is, if you firing coaches, if you refusing to come out of games, and I understand that you want to beat Toronto because it means something to you, this, that, and the other, but for one, you can't shoot an air ball if you don't want to come out of the game. No. Two, if you would have came out of the game, maybe you would have had some legs left to shoot a better shot. But my thing is, they need to get it together. Kyle, you're right. I won't. That is spot on. It's money time. it's money time, or Curry's gonna shimmy on you for ring number 2.
The shimmy. Oh man, that's crazy when you think about it, man. I mean, J.R. Smith, the voice of reason. I mean, like, we've never said that before ever in like life. It's definitely going to be interesting. Like I said, we probably got about 22, 23 games left in the season. The playoffs will be here before you know it. Teams will definitely have to start, and this is the time that you want to start getting hot. You want to start putting together a run because, once the playoffs starts, you're not playing, Utah, or you're not playing, the Philadelphia 76ers, shout out to Q, anymore. So, it's just not. So you gotta put it together, man. You gotta put it together. Real quick, man, some NFL talk before we get out of here. Kirk Cousins got the franchise tag, and Sam Bradford signed a 2-year deal. And our boy Tom Edward Brady signed a 2-year extension, which means he will be playing until he's 42 years old. Ken, you think Brady still got it, man?
Yes, believe it or not, I do, and we all know how I feel about Tom Brady and the Patriots, but I do, man. You know what? There's something about him signing this 2-year extension, and there's something about him playing the next 2 years that kind of interests me, because this guy, that competitive spirit, that drive that he has, I love it. Now, I have my problems with the Patriots and Brady and this, that, and the other. They're all personal, but I'm not knocking the greatness of what they do. But I don't know, man. I'm really, really interested to see how Brady finishes his career out. Do I want him to win another Super Bowl? Hell no. I hope he lose from here on out. But I want to see his approach to the game. I definitely will enjoy watching him play. I'm not gonna I think to watch him ride out, I'm not gonna hate watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will enjoy Brady. I will try to enjoy Brady for the next couple of years, as long as everybody don't get on my damn nerves. Captain Sneak, Ryan, just let me watch the man and enjoy his last 2 years, and let that be that. I'm still gonna hate the Patriots until he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna really like Brady all that much, but I'm gonna enjoy his work on the field. But we'll see. I think he'll play it out, man. And I think he'll still be able to play it out until it's time for him to ride to the sunset. We all know what this is about. This is about him coming back to win another ring. Is for Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
This is all. I mean, Brady wants to win a ring, obviously, but there's no way he could stomach the fact that Peyton Manning won another ring.
But he's got more rings than Brady. I mean, Manning, though.
Kyle, you know how it is, Kyle. When you're in that company, like, you wanna beat somebody down, like, you wanna leave no doubt. Right now he's obviously elevated above Peyton Manning in terms of the rings and overall career, but they've always had this thing, whether it's driven by the media, whether it's driven by them or whatever. So I'm pretty sure he hate seeing Peyton win that ring, just the way I would probably hate seeing Brady win another ring, if they ultimately end up winning one. But I will enjoy. I will try to enjoy watching them play. But who knows? Football season may come around, and I might get me a whole new case of Gatorade for the Patriots. We never know.
No doubt. What about you, V? You think Brady still got something left, man?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, yes. I mean, his arm still looks strong. He still throw that ball with some fire. Until I start seeing some, wear and tear, or him slowing down, I don't, like how we saw with Peyton Manning. It's like we were just seeing it, like, man, his arm is not strong. He don't got the zip on that ball no more. But I still think Tom Brady got, like Ken said, that competitive edge he has. I think that's going to at least give him an extra two or three more years left before if he can play out his whole final contract. But yeah, I think Brady will be all right, man. I mean, long as Bill Belichick and that front office keep being smart about the guys that they getting and making good drafts and picking up good guys, I think Brady will be all right. They need to get another running back though. I think running back is another key factor that can make your life so much easier as a quarterback. If they get them a good running back, someone they can just, pound the ball about, 15 to 20 carries per game. I think that's another reason that's gonna make life a lot easier for Tom Brady. So, I think he's good, man. I think he'll be all right.
No doubt. Yeah, I think in that offense, I think he'll be fine. Like you said, he's got to get a couple more playmakers on the outside. Belichick will have him ready. I haven't seen anything, kind of as far as his game falling off. Like you said, he's still got the arm strength. I think it's, rightfully so. New England is the best team in the division. I don't foresee. I mean, the Jets are up and coming, but until the Jets get some type of solid play at quarterback, it remains to be seen what they're going to do. Buffalo is a train wreck. So and Miami can't get right. So at the very least, the Patriots can win the division, at least for the next year or two. So, I think it'll be interesting. I'm much like Ken. I don't want to see Brady win another title, but I will appreciate Brady as he rides off into the sunset, just like I did Peyton Manning. Speaking of which, we should be getting word from Peyton Manning at some point in time, I think this week, whether or not he is going to return. The reports are that he's going to retire. There are also reports that he is that the Broncos are moving on without Manning, regardless of whether or not he retires or not. Like they're like, look, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. So, it may be done for him in Denver either way, regardless of whether or not he comes back or not. We started off kind of kicking it around before we started the show. Sam Bradford, man, 2-year deal. B, you buying or selling Sam Bradford?
Selling. He is not worth $36 million 2 years. He's not worth that. He's not worth $18 million a year. He hasn't done anything to me where I'm like, you know what? Y'all need to pay him. This dude is worth $36 million 2 years. No way. I am selling quick.
What about you, Ken?
Sell, Ken. Go ahead. Say it. Sell.
What am I buying exactly?
Are you buying or selling? Right. Are you buying on the theory of Sam Bradford? I guess.
I don't know, man. I guess it depends on the market. I mean, he stayed healthy. The guy.
But when has he been healthy? He's never been healthy.
He stayed healthy this year.
Was he? I thought Sam Bradford missed some games.
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah, he missed.
Oh, Sanchez had
games,
to play, right? He missed I mean, who else you gonna go get, Kyle?
I don't know. And that's the thing too. I gotta reach out to some of my Philly peeps. Our boy Q is not on tonight, but we gotta find out who. I mean, because I refuse to believe that you're going into the season saying Sam Bradford is my guy. You gotta have a dope backup quarterback or something.
It's probably part of the rebuilding process. Give me a guy that's stable.
Yeah.
And until we, get some more pieces after, we know what Chip Kelly did to that team. So he just left Philly in shambles.
Somebody in the chat room asked me to talk about the Troy Ave. No, I'm not talking about no Troy Ave.
I haven't listened to it.
You know what? I saw it posted on Facebook. I'm not talking about that, man. That's dumb. I mean, guys beefing and don't have no beef. So whatever. Nonetheless, let's move on. So we talked about him. Kirk Cousins get the franchise tag. Are you buying or selling Kirk Cousins? I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins at all. I think the Redskins played a watered down schedule last year. I don't think Kirk Cousins is that good, but he's about to make what we say, $16 million this year.
I guess I'm selling on Kirk Cousins. Hey, they get goodwill. But no, man. I think they're playing it right to a certain degree. They're gonna get this payday now, and if Kirk Cousins balls out, he can negotiate a higher price tag.
Right.
But if he mess up, it's a wrap. So probably should have tried whatever money they're gonna give him. But nah, I gotta see it to believe it. And he only beat weak teams. So until I see him beat some good teams, I'm out.
No doubt. What about you, B? Kirk Cousins, you buying or selling Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I'm selling too. Yeah, I'm selling. I had to see him. I want to see how he's gonna do this year, because like last year was kind of a surprise. It's kind of similar to Kaepernick. When he just like surprised the league and nobody, once you got film on him, he was exposed. So I have a little feeling that Kirk Cousins might get exposed this upcoming season. And then, like you said, I think Ken said he hasn't really beat no like really good teams. I mean, who has he beaten there where it's like, okay, yeah, that's a threat. Like that was, he didn't beat the Patriots or the Denver Broncos. Did he beat those type of caliber teams? I don't think.
No, because those teams weren't on his schedule either. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just giving an example. I'm just trying to like just elite teams that he beat elite teams. So I say no. I think he's gonna get exposed this season. I think we're gonna see some stuff and we be like, well, we thought Kirk Cousins.
yeah, we told you.
I'm selling.
I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but it still has not been confirmed. B, have you guys heard anything on you being a huge Detroit Lions fan? Have you heard anything about Calvin Johnson and whether or not the decision to retire is final or
nothing?
Okay.
No, nothing yet. Nothing on. I think he's actually kind of holding Detroit. I mean, I don't have an issue with that, but I mean, it's just like I think he's kind of holding Detroit hostage a little bit. Like I really think he wants them to release him, cut him, or whatever, so he can sign with another squad. We have a chance, to play for something. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not gonna. They wouldn't do that, would they?
I don't blame him, huh?
They would. Do you think Detroit would do that if he like? Because Calvin Johnson doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would have like crazy trade demands or anything like that.
No, I think he's just playing the retirement thing, and I think maybe to save some cap, they might just release him and just be like, all right, thank you for retiring. This butt might go and play for, try to sign with a contender, like sign someone with like the Panthers for like cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Calvin Johnson seems like he's been pretty smart, or he's like, he's been kind of cool with his money. So I don't know. I don't know that man's bank account, but I don't think he's struggling for money. So I can see him getting out of Detroit and then signing to someone like a Seattle or Carolina Panthers or something, for a good deal, for not too expensive. And hell, I can see him doing something like that, which I don't blame him, because Detroit front office, man, we a mess right now. We've been a mess. So.
Yeah, no, I heard. I've always heard that his, not that they were rich or anything like that, but like his people, they weren't hurting for money. Like they were doing very well prior to him even going to Georgia Tech. So it wasn't like they were starving. So
I think he'd be good, man. If he retired, it wouldn't really be like a shocking thing, because hell, I've seen this before with Barry Sanders. So. That's what happens when the front office act like they don't care about getting the right pieces. He ain't about to keep sacrificing his body for an organization that's not
right
move. So I can't blame him for that. You know what I'm saying? He's still young. He's still got a lot of life left in him.
He's only 30.
He's only 30. So if you want to retire and do other business ventures or whatever, wish him the best. But I think he just kind of wants out of Detroit. I think he's just trying to do it in the less drama. Or whatever. So that's just me. I could be wrong.
All right, man. Throwing it back to the NBA, man. I'm gonna throw something out that we actually tweeted from our Dead End Sports account. If you don't follow us, you need to follow us at Dead End Sports. Also follow us on all socials. YouTube. We got a YouTube channel here, youtube.com/Dead End Sports. We're on Instagram. Make sure that you follow us on the Gridam. Post a lot of pictures on there. Let's see, we're on Facebook, and follow us individually on Twitter as well. BZ430, KBINGE. You can follow me at 12Kyle, and of course FIFO247. Follow Dead End Sports, Dead End Hip Hop. Follow Off the Bench. I don't know where y'all seen Ryan today. I ain't seen Ryan all day.
Nah, I haven't seen him either.
I ain't seen Ryan. Well, Q was on earlier, but yeah, follow those guys too. Dope. NBA, little bit more deeper NBA talk on their podcast as well. But we tweeted this out last week and got a lot of responses. I want to get you guys a response because I don't think we ever got it. It's the NBA draft, right? and you're drafting, and I want to phrase it like this. You're drafting this person as they're coming out of college. So you're not drafting the final product. You're drafting this person as they're coming out of college. You're drafting a power forward, right? And you got the number 1 pick. And these are your choices. Dirk Nowitzki, Wes Unseld, Kevin McHale, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, or Kevin Garnett. I'm gonna read it to you again. Dirk, you know what? Let's take Wes Unseld because none of us saw Wes Unseld. No, Kim might have saw him, but I ain't seen him. So we go Dirk, Karl Malone, Kevin McHale, Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan.
Kevin McHale.
What?
Yeah.
You go McHale? Why McHale coming out of Minnesota?
I mean, I think I've told y'all this before. When we ranked our power forwards, I had Tim Duncan at 1, and I had Kevin McHale at number 2.
You did.
So,
you did. Now
Kevin McHale, man, dude was he was a beast in the post. He was great back to the basket post player, and his defense was good. He can go with your left, go with the right. You know, I mean, yeah, Kevin McHale can do it all. So yeah, that dude was a beast, man. Like people forget. People forget. I think, of course, because of Larry Bird, it's just like, oh, man, Kevin McHale was a beast. So, yeah, I would draft Kevin McHale.
What about you, Ken?
You know, when I heard Kevin McHale, that was the first thing that popped. I was like, oh, Kevin McHale, easy. But I'm going with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
You say Tim Duncan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Timmy. Switch it up a little bit, B. Yeah, you know, if you follow the show, I love Tim Duncan, man. There were times when
I didn't hear you say Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan was the last one. KG, then Tim Duncan.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't say.
Because I was thinking Kevin McHale, Barkley, or Duncan. Who would I want?
Oh, well, yeah, I would have picked Duncan. I didn't hear you say Duncan. I would have said Duncan then.
Okay.
Yeah, when you didn't say Duncan, I was like, okay, Kevin McHale.
Oh, no. Duncan,
that was the next best choice right there.
Yeah. So excuse me for yawning, but yeah, I'll definitely go with Tim Duncan, man. That's my boy, man. And I kind of hate and I love it at the same time that he's getting all the love that he is now. Or you know, when they were playing in the finals, probably because everybody loved to pick against LeBron. But yeah, I'm gonna be taking Tim Duncan, man. What you got, Kyle?
My man Thelonious in the chat room said you really want Delhi. Yo, let me tell you, especially for those of you who hadn't been rocking with us that long, man, my man Ken, God bless him. He was, but I will give Ken credit. He put us on Delhi, or he put me on. I heard of Delhi in college, but Ken was definitely bigging up Delhi last year, man. So that was funny.
It was fun. People put me on the Delhi.
And so nobody's not gonna let Ken forget that. So like,
no, nobody is. But look, here's the thing though, because I remember watching the Cavs play, and I was like, man, this Delhi dude gotta go. He is absolute boo boo. And I talked to FIFO. FIFO kind of put me on to him, and there were just some things that I saw. I was like, you know, going into the finals, and it kind of became a thing when I said that he was gonna shut down Derrick Rose, and he did. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna ride this out. He did shut down Derrick Rose, by the way. Well, you know.
I would go Duncan, man, just because Duncan was a 4-year player, and I think his game coming out of college, Duncan was NBA ready. So I'm gonna go Duncan. I would if I had to line them up, I'd probably go Duncan, KG, then McHale. Because KG was like a 20-5 guy. And keep in mind now, KG didn't go to college. You know, he came straight from high school. So he was like a 20-5 guy his first year, which was bananas. And that was like 95, 94, 95, something like 95, 96, somewhere around. No, he wasn't 96. KG, if I'm not mistaken, came out in 95. So I think that's remarkable when you think about the fact that a guy like that came straight out of high school and was dominant. You know, it was rare for somebody that young to come in the league, especially not having gone to college and be dominant. You know, Kobe was dominant later, but he wasn't dominant his first year. KG was dominant from the first time he stepped on the court. So I would go if I had to line them up, I'd probably go, Tim Duncan and KG, then Mikal. But when we tweeted it out, man, I checked the Twitter. A lot of people were screaming Dirk. A lot of people were screaming Barkley. A lot of people were going for Duncan. A lot for KG. Not a lot for Mikal. I don't know if a lot of people saw Mikal, but but it was a good little debate. So make sure that like I said, if you don't follow us on Twitter, you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure that you do. Because, period, we're going to try to do that at least once a week, man. Try to get a picture out and get everybody's opinions on it and stuff like that. It's always good. And, of course, we'll retweet it. And, that, of course, that, spawns a lot of conversation in and of itself. You guys got anything else? Because I don't have anything else written down here for us to cover.
Nope, I'm done. Just some news I just saw. Blake Griffin said he's close to returning from his hand injury. No timetable is set. And, I think that's it for me. Cheryl, I just want to let you know that I do or am aware that OKC lost to Golden State on an off night, but they played them tough, and they had them both games, and things just bounced Golden State's way. They could have easily won those 2 games, and they could be 2-0 against the Warriors. So just something to pay attention to and take notice of. They play again Thursday. We'll see.
Yeah. Now, this game is in Golden. This is in Oakland, so it should be a good game. Thursday night on TNT, if I'm not mistaken. That's the late game, so you might want to catch a little nap. So before we get out of here, of course, we will do our parting shots. B, you got a parting shot?
Yes, I am going to the Braves and Tigers game. Okay. But they don't play until September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd.
Damn.
Reason will make this game so monumental is because it's the last 3 games played at Turner Field.
Okay.
So the last 3 games at Turner Field, my Detroit Tigers will be in town playing against the Braves. So I will be going to those. I will be going to that. I'm going to the Friday game. That's September 30th game.
Okay.
So they play at 7 o'clock. So, looking forward to that. And just so you know, my Pistons are the only team so far that have beaten the Golden State Warriors and the Cavaliers twice this season. I mean, nobody's done that. So, just thought I'd throw that out there.
All right. Okay. That's that. Yeah, that should be live. Last game in Turner Field. What about you, Ken?
College basketball is heating up, and I'm tuning in, man, and I'm starting to kind of get ready for.
You need to watch the Indiana and Iowa game right now that's going on. ESPN.
Yeah, I'm about to tune into that. But that guy, Buddy Hield, man,
he's a player.
Something else, and I think people they're talking about him, but I think they need to talk about him more, especially way more than they're talking about Blake Simmons. Good Lord. Jesus, I done called. Maybe because they're both light skinned. I done got. I'm tired. That's gonna do it for me. But yeah, that boy bad, man. He's the truth. So pay attention.
My parting shot deals with a column that I read. This young lady, I'm not even gonna put her name out there. She took to some website stating that she would like to see baseball, quote unquote, bring back all the white players. She felt like the Major League Baseball was taking jobs away from white players and giving them to, the cheap Latin players. To you, I say shut the hell up. If you haven't recognized by now, the game has been better, not just because you have, brothers of different colors and different cultures, but at the end of the day, you're giving an opportunity to a guy to play baseball for a living. Much like this country, it's going to be diverse. I think it's good that baseball is diverse. I mean, hell, it's actually less black people playing baseball than it is, Latin players. That being said, I think those type of closed-minded statements only kill the game. And if you don't preach inclusion, you're preaching exclusion. And exclusion has no place for baseball in any other sport. None whatsoever. You can go to hell.
Oh, I want to go off. I just got a rant right there, but I'm gonna let it sit right there. I'm
You
gonna
know what,
let
man?
that go.
I'll send you the link. It's nothing, but it's just I read it today and I was like, are you serious? I mean, you sound like some dude that's running for office right now. But that's another day. That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And like I said, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, support, and pass the word. Tell a friend and tell a friend. For Ken, for B, for FIFO who's not here, I'm your host, 12 Kyle. We'll holler at you next week. Peace.
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 Go Hawks.
Yes, we voted today.